Let's go and talk about the ambiguous case, how to determine if you have one, two, or no triangles when you are working with the law of sines. And I'm going to do that by working through the beginner versus the expert. I love the beginner because it kind of gives you some initial understanding that always works. But we all know the ambiguous case sometimes can take a lot of time. And especially if you're working on a word problem, we don't want to be spending so much time trying to figure out, is it one, two, or no triangles? That is where the expert process is going to come in. And I'm going to give you a lot of tips along the way. So therefore, you actually don't even need to do any math. You can easily identify what type of triangle you are going to work on. So let's get right into it. I have a triangle here. This is an oblique triangle. I have the famous angle, side, side. So therefore, I need to be aware. I could either have one triangle, two triangles, or no triangle at all. So the beginner way is simply just going to do, let's just apply the law of sines. All right. So if you are one that kind of struggles with this concept, this is a great thing to get started with. First thing we always want to do before applying the law of sines is make sure we label them correctly. I always like to have my triangle written like this, even if it's, in a different orientation or from a word problem. I always like to have the angle I'm given down here in this left-hand side. Then the opposing side length is going to be A. And then let's go ahead and let's call this C. So this will be angle C. So therefore, this is going to be side C. All right. Now this will be B, but in this case, it doesn't really matter because we're not going to be solving all of them. I just want to focus on one, two, or no triangles. So now that I have a ratio of a side versus an angle, I can go ahead and complete the law of sines. One thing I always tell my students, if you're going to try to find whatever you're trying to find for the law of sines, make sure you put that in the numerator. So in this case, I'm going to write my ratio. I'm going to be looking for the sine of C because that is going to be my unknown. I have this ratio and I can create a proportion to solve for C. So what I'm going to write is let's go and label this the beginner. Okay. So what we're going to do is write in the sine of C all over side C, which is going to be 18. And that's going to equal the sine of A, which is 43 degrees. So the sine of 43 degrees all over 13, which is its opposing side length. That is going to be from the law of sines. Hopefully you have that. Hopefully you understand at least the law of sines. And now what we need to do is solve for C. So I like always putting my unknown in my numerator because then to solve for C, all I simply need to do is multiply the 18 on the other side, and then you use either graphing technology or a scientific calculator to go ahead and solve. So if I multiply an 18 on both sides, I'll have the sine of C is equal to an 18 times the 4 sine of 43 degrees all over 13. And then again, if I need to solve for C, I need to take the sine inverse of this. So I'm going to take sine inverse of 18 times sine of 43 degrees all over 13. Now, make sure when you're working with the calculator that you do have the correct mode, that it is going to be in degree mode. I do not like to type in things all together. I don't know, it's through habit. I like to type in things individually. So first thing I'm doing is typing 18 times sine of 43 degrees. Then I take that answer divided by 13, and then I take the sine inverse of that answer. And I always like to use all the last answer and everything in my calculator. So therefore, I'm going to be left with a C equals a 70.78, and we're just going to truncate it, okay? You could round it if you want to, but let's just go ahead and truncate it for this example. Now, most students that do the law of sines are comfortable with this, but how do we know? Is this the only angle that works, or does this even work for our triangle? Or do we have a two-case, solution for in this case? So what we want to be able to look at in this one is if we do get an angle, then we know we at least have one or two, okay? No triangle is not going to exist, is not going to happen if we're able to have that. If we did sine inverse and it gives you like a invalid number, then no triangle exists, okay? So that's usually what I tell my students when you go through the math, if you get an error, then either you typed it in wrong, which check your math, or no triangle exists, and that's your answer. Now to determine if you have a second triangle option, what we're simply going to do is say, let's call this C, and then let's go and figure out what C2 is going to be. So C2, if you have an additional option here, that means that's going to be the obtuse angle. So how do we identify this possible obtuse angle? All you're simply going to do is take 180 degrees minus your angle C, which in this case is 70.78. Now, again, I truncated that, so I don't want it to use that answer. I want to use the calculator. I want to use the exact answer that's typed in my calculator. So I'm going to do 180 minus that last answer, and that's going to give me 109. So is this possible? could we have another triangle that's 109.21? Could we have another triangle that works for 109.21 degrees instead of a 70 degrees? And yes, it actually does work, because if you think about it, if you take 109 plus 43, is that still less than 180? So what you want to do to be able to check this for your 2-case solution is take 109.21 plus your existing angle that we had, which is 43 degrees. If that is less than 180 degrees, then you know that you have a 2-case solution. If it is not, right, let's say your angle was, I don't know, 30 degrees up here, and then this would be like 150. Well, 150 plus 43 is larger, right? So if you have your angle C plus your existing angle is greater than 180 degrees, then you have that 1-case solution, okay? So it requires some math. It requires some using the law of sines, which is not too bad. But ladies and gentlemen, we can all make mistakes typing things into our calculator, right? And also looking through everything that I just did definitely took some time, right? So if you want to be able to learn the expert way, let's get right into it. Now, how does the expert way differ from this? We're still going to have to do some math, but in my opinion, it's a lot quicker. And also there's some things that we can understand from inspection, okay? So to really understand this expert way, I think it's important to understand what exactly we're looking, how does this 2-case solution kind of look? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to redraw the triangle real quick and kind of look at what it means when we have the ambiguous case, or a 2-case triangle, or a no triangle at all. So if I have my angle here, and here's my other angle C, and this is going to be my little c, okay? Now, what the thing is I do not know what this angle is up here, right? Technically, you can think about this as like on a little pivot, like a door. It could rotate, right? We could have a triangle that's a little bit skinnier. We could have one that's a little bit wider. Oops, I kind of ran out of my screen. Sorry about that. And actually, let's bring this down and let's write expert. Okay, so we don't know. Why do I keep on doing it? Sorry, guys. We don't know here exactly if this triangle is going to have this angle, if that angle is a little bit more acute or a little bit more obtuse. Because what could happen here is what a lot of times we call this is kind of rotates, right? So we could bring this down and we could still have the same side length C right there, right? You can see how those two sides are exactly the same. And then what we'd call this be what we found out in the previous example would be our C2. So how can we do this then rather quickly? And that's all going to come into understanding what is going to be our H, okay? And if we can identify the H, that's going to give us all the information we need to know. Now, what I want you to see is when I draw a vertical line, which represents my height, I create a right triangle. And I can create a ratio here of the right triangle with H using my trigonometric functions. I have an angle, I have the hypotenuse, which would be C, and I have my opposite side. So I can say that the sine of A is equal to H over C. And if I want to solve for H, I can say H is equal to C times the sine of A. So ladies and gentlemen, when I look at a triangle and it's the ambiguous case, all I care about is what is this side length and what is this angle? Because then I can quickly say, oh, this is the, first you want to write it into this way. Excuse me. Always you want to write it into this orientation because then you just see it the same exact way. So when I look at this, I say H is equal to my C, which was what, 18. So I do 18 times the sine of 43 degrees. Now let's go and calculate what this is going to be. 18 times the sine of 43. And actually we did it, you can see over here, right? And that's going to be a 12.27. Okay, and again, I'm just going to truncate it. So 12.27. So this is why this is important, ladies and gentlemen. Because if this side length, right, we say 12.27, so 12.27. If your opposite side of your angle is, let's say it's 10, right? It doesn't matter how I rotate this, right? It doesn't matter how I rotate that side. I'm never going to be able to create a triangle, right? So when I look at this, if I look at my triangle and I quickly identify what is my height, again, your this side length times your angle, if that number is going to be larger than this opposing side length, then you know no triangle is going to exist. So if we have this labeled and that's going to be A, if I say my A is less than my H, then there's no triangle, right? I can easily just kind of look at this and say, oh, we're good to go. Now, here's another thing. If my A is greater than my C, I know I only have one triangle. Or if my A is equal to my H, okay? So when I'm looking at this and I identify my H, it's like, all right, it's not less than, or my A, it's not less than my height, right? If my A is greater than my C, there's only one triangle that's going to exist. And let me kind of show you how that works. So if I have a triangle, why do I keep on doing this? Let's do it over here. If I look at this over here, and let's say here's my A, here's my C, here's my little c. Now, if I was to rotate this, because we don't know what this angle is going to be, it doesn't matter how I rotate this side length along here. This is the only option that's going to give me this, okay? So my A is going to be greater than my C. When this side length is larger than this side length, I know I have one triangle. I can look at a triangle by inspection and determine if I'm going to have one triangle, as long as it doesn't satisfy, as long as the H is H not going to be less, right? But then it would be obvious in that case. So the circumstance when we have this 2-case solution is when A is going to be less than C, but equal to H. Because if it's equal to H, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be a right triangle. So it's going to be a right triangle, but it's going to be 1. But when my A is going to be greater than H, but it's going to be less than C, that is where, ladies and gentlemen, we have the 2-case solution. And you can see when I got this, I got a 12.27, right? So my A was larger than my H, but it was less than my C. So ladies and gentlemen, all it takes for this expert level is just to find this, right? And then, yes, it takes a little bit of understanding, and sometimes you might get this mixed up, but I'm telling you, through some practice, this isn't that hard to remember. And then you can now be able to determine, is it 1, 2, or no triangles very, very quickly. But the reality is, ladies and gentlemen, working through these problems takes a lot of time. So if you want to see some examples of me working through the 1, 2, or no triangle, then check out the next video I have for you here or the problems down below. Cheers.